Hey, everybody, welcome to What's Up Wednesday. A couple of weeks ago, I wrote a blog article on the importance of focus. Now, I don't know if any of you subscribe or review the blog articles that we submit every couple of weeks or post every few weeks, but follow our LinkedIn page and you have access to all these What's Up Wednesdays as well as the blog articles. But in the blog, I talked a little bit about how critical focus is when we have goals and objectives, and even just day to day in our work schedule. So maybe when I bring up this topic of focus, it can mean a lot of different things to anybody. And maybe the first thing is to kind of share the definition from Merriam-Webster, which is focus is a state or condition permitting clear perception or understanding. Now, to me, focus is really the ability to complete a task without distraction or, in light of or regardless of distraction, because throughout a normal day, we're thrown curveballs and we're hit from so many different directions that it can be very, very hard to maintain focus. And when I wrote this blog article, I focused on something that I read about Warren Buffett. And I don't remember the story specifically, but for those of you who don't know who Warren Buffett is, he's probably one of the most successful investors of all time. He's a major stake owner in many big companies that you would know. And I believe he donated a large percentage of his wealth to the Gates Foundation a number of years ago to do good. So Warren Buffett is just one of those guys who is very dynamic and has really set a precedent in the world when it comes to investing. So going back to the story, somebody came to Warren Buffett for some advice around goal setting. And Warren Buffett said, well, I'll tell you what, write down your goals and bring them to me and we'll discuss them. So this person wrote down these goals and came to Warren Buffett with a list of 25 things that he wanted to accomplish. Now, ironically, this is now called the Buffett 525 rule. But Warren basically told this person, go back to your list and identify the top 5 most important objectives or goals you have on that list, things you want to accomplish, and cross everything out that doesn't. It's the other 20, cross them out, ignore them, forget them, move on. You're going to focus on these 5 and only these 5. If you want to deal with some of those other goals down the road, then get through these 5 first. So thought that was really pretty interesting that he addressed it in that manner, and I completely agree. But the fact is that those other 20 goals would completely distract and take effort away from achieving the most important things. And I think that one of the challenges that many of us suffer, now I have met very dynamic people who can stay laser focused, and I don't know how they do it. But ultimately, being present and focusing on those things that are really important and accomplishing those things, I think is key to our success. If we can avoid the distractions that come up that are unimportant, meaning non-time bound, not critical, not important, and we eliminate those things, it makes us more effective as humans just in general. Now, secondly, I would say that it's really easy to get distracted when we have something important to accomplish and we get kind of sidetracked by FOMO, fear of missing out. We have phone calls coming in. Like during filming this, I've already had a phone call come in. I'm kind of curious who that phone call was from, right? So we have phone call distractions. We have texts. We have notifications coming in. We have emails coming in, people walking into our offices. We have all these different distractions that are part of our day that are necessary and important, but they sometimes take away from things that we really critically need to accomplish. Might be a proposal, might be a key program that needs to be developed. It might be a timeline to update a third-party verification program, whatever it is. We have things that are critical that they get completed, and these other things can take us away from or distract from the ability to accomplish those goals. So what's the best approach? I think for me, in order to remain present, which is an ever challenge for me, being present in the moment with what's going on when there's so many proverbial balls in the air, it's to compartmentalize your schedule. And I think being organized, I use Microsoft Outlook. Some people use the old style notebook with a calendar in them to write down their schedules, but be able to compartmentalize your schedule and carve out time, believe it or not, set time to review email first thing in the morning before the workday gets going, and then at some point after lunch, so that you can stay on top of those things. Now, as I mentioned, we need to kind of ignore the things that are non-time bound, non-important. But at the same time, I think it's really key that we maintain professionalism. If somebody leaves us a voicemail or sends us an email, then we need to respond to that. If we don't, we ghost them. That sets a tone of unprofessionalism that I would not encourage anybody to take on. Now, when we have unsolicited emails and phone calls coming in from people who want to do business with us, that might be something different. The unsolicited stuff, not responding to it's probably okay. But ultimately, I think that the key, getting back to the point of this, is in order to maintain focus, we must eliminate distraction. And the only way we can really effectively do that is to schedule our time and to be able to carve out time for different activities so that we feel like we're on top of everything. And ideally, when we leave at the end of the day, we're able to say, I accomplished what I set out to accomplish today. I'm leaving that at the office behind me. I'm going home. I'm spending time with my family. Think about it this way. At the end of your career, the only people who really remember how much time and effort you put in and how many hours you worked is your family, who knew you weren't there. So maintaining focus will give you more time with family. And in the end, I would say that's a big win. So take that for what it's worth, and we'll see you next Wednesday.